All right, today we are diving into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, epic stories ever written. Charles Dickens' masterpiece, A Tale of Two Cities. It's a novel that kicks off with a line I'm pretty sure you've heard before.
Now, this isn't just one of the most famous opening lines in literature for no reason. It's literally the key to the entire book. Right from the get-go, Dickens throws us into this world of intense opposites, a world of duality that's going to shape every single character and every single thing that happens in this story.
So, the setting is the late 18th century, and the story unfolds right in the middle of the explosive, violent French Revolution. But this isn't just a dry history lesson, not at all. It's a really personal story about the people who are caught in the middle of this historical storm, whose lives get swept up by forces that are way, way bigger than them.
So, to really get what's going on, we first have to understand the stage Dickens sets for us. He is an absolute master at building his story around the huge contrast between two very, very different worlds.
On one side, you have London. It's a city all about business and law, held together by old traditions. But it's got its own quiet secrets simmering just below the surface. And then, on the other side, you've got Paris. It's a city just boiling over with poverty and injustice, and it's about to absolutely explode into chaos and revolution. The story doesn't actually start with a battle or a revolution. It starts with a mystery, and it introduces one of the book's most important ideas, the theme of resurrection, of being brought back from a kind of living death.
And at the heart of this mystery is a man named Dr. Alexandre Manette. So get this, he was secretly imprisoned in the infamous Bastille for 18 years. He's been so traumatized by it that he's lost his memory, his identity, everything. The only thing he does is compulsively make shoes. To the world and even to his own daughter, he was basically dead.
These words, spoken by the banker Mr. Lorry to Dr. Manette's daughter, Lucy, set up the whole first part of the book. He tells Lucy that her job, her mission, is to become what he calls the golden thread. She's the only one who can pull her father back from the brink and truly, recall him to life.
So while Dr. Manette's very personal story is unfolding, that public storm in France is getting stronger and stronger, and it's being fueled by years of just unimaginable cruelty. Dickens pulls no punches when he describes the French nobility, this Monseigneur class. He shows them as completely corrupt, living these lives of just ridiculous luxury, totally blind and indifferent to the fact that the people they rule over are literally starving. And it's not just ignorance, it's pure contempt. And this cruelty is captured perfectly in one horrific moment. A nobleman, the Marquis Saint-Evremond, is racing his carriage through the streets, and he runs over and kills a child. His only concern? His horses. He just tosses a coin to the grieving father and says those words. It's an act of such unbelievable inhumanity that it basically lights the fuse for the revolution.
Well, an act like that doesn't just go unanswered. In the shadows, in a wine shop run by Monsieur and Madame Defarge, a secret network of revolutionaries, who all use the codename Jacques, starts plotting its revenge. This little shop is the real heart of the whole rebellion. And at the center of it all is Madame Defarge, who never seems to do anything but sit there and knit. But her knitting is terrifying. It's a secret hit list. Every stitch forms a name, and every name, including the Marquis Saint-Evremond, is an enemy of the revolution who has been condemned to die. And this isn't just about simple revenge. As Madame Defarge explains, their plan for retribution is patient, it's cold, and it's as unstoppable as an earthquake. When it's ready, it is going to grind everything in its path to dust. So as the revolution finally explodes, these two stories, the personal one about the Manette family and the historical fury of France, they collide. And it all leads to one of the most famous acts of sacrifice in all of literature. At the center of this collision are two men who are total opposites in every single way, except for one thing. They're both in love with Lucy Manette, and they look identical. Charles Darnay is a good, honorable guy who just happens to be the nephew of that horrible Marquis, and Sidney Carton is a brilliant but cynical, alcoholic lawyer who thinks his life is completely worthless. So the big question is, what happens when Charles Darnay, even though he gave up his aristocratic family and title, gets captured by the revolutionaries in Paris? He's put on trial, and thanks to the unstoppable vengeance of Madame Defarge, he is sentenced to the guillotine. This is Sidney Carton's moment. The man who hates himself, who thinks he's beyond saving, suddenly sees a way to give his wasted life a really profound and noble purpose. His deep, selfless love for Lucie and her family inspires him to come up with a truly impossible plan. So, what's this impossible plan? Well, Carton manages to get into Darnay's prison cell right before the execution. He drugs Darnay, they swap clothes, and he has the unconscious Darnay carried out to a waiting carriage. As Darnay and his family escape to safety, Sidney Carton stays behind, ready to die in his place. As the carts carry the condemned prisoners to the guillotine, the knitting women of the Revolution are there, counting each victim. And on that day, Sidney Carton, posing as Charles Darnay, is number 23. These are the thoughts going through Carton's mind as he approaches the scaffold. In this final, selfless act, the man who saw himself as dead to the world is finally recalled to life. He achieves a kind of spiritual resurrection, all to make sure the woman he loves can be happy. It's just a profound ending to a tale of opposites, and it proves that even in the absolute worst of times, people can find their very best selves.